The US economy has now become one big bet on AI. Because if it doesn't work out, then I think that there's a lot of trouble for this country ahead. No, but in fact, today by some metrics, the Chinese LLM models have reached virtual convergence with the US.
Renowned economist Ruchir Sharma has issued a stark warning. The US economy is gambling its future on a high-stakes bet on AI. Yet the triple threat of China's tangible catch-up, stubborn inflation, and the looming specter of rising interest rates could together become the needle that pops this trillion-dollar bubble.
That's now, I think, become the singular focus of the global economy and particularly the US economy. The US economy has now become one big bet on AI. Because outside of AI, there's a lot of weakness in the US economy. But AI has continued to drive everything. So this big bet on AI better work out for America. Because if it doesn't work out, then I think that there's a lot of trouble for this country ahead. But for now, it's all about AI. I think that's really emerged as the big factor.
Well, are you surprised we haven't seen more follow-up after DeepSeek? Because that was like a total wake-up call. The AI stocks in the US, reacted quite dramatically.
Yes.
And then recovered, and we kind of forgotten about the Chinese abilities again.
Absolutely, because today if you...
It's not like they stopped working on it.
No, but in fact, today by some metrics, the Chinese LLM models have reached virtual convergence with the US. And they're spending about 1/5 the amount, right? Because the capex spend in America is touching about $500 billion. In China, the capex spend on AI is close to $100 billion. So, there is a bit of that. But I think in America, what's happened is the fact that, there's so much faith in AI and that this is going to work and people are willing to put all sorts of capital behind it, that I think that questioning is not happening. That questioning really, Nicola, will happen whenever interest rates go up. Every single bubble or mania in history has been pricked by just one factor, which is when interest rates finally go up.
Why should they go up now?
Well, if inflation comes back.
Why should inflation come back?
Well, if the economy remains, so strong in terms of that, then there is, firstly, inflation is already quite sticky out here. As you know, that the Fed's 2% target is nowhere in sight. The Fed has missed its 2% target for 5 years in a row. And even next year, inflation seems to be closer to 3% rather than 2%. Why the Fed is cutting interest rates in this environment is completely bewildering to me. But they're doing it, maybe it's under pressure from the White House, maybe this is the Fed's historical reaction function, which is that they will react to the slightest hint of trouble, but never react when things are going really well and stuff like that. And we've seen it even now, which is that it's very interesting. Last few days, if you see what's happened, that the Fed has begun to question whether they should be cutting interest rates. And that's the main reason why the markets had a bit of a wobble. But again, just as the market had a bit of a wobble, the Fed is now again sending signals that yes, a December rate cut may be on. It just tells you what the reaction function is. But if inflation, were to accelerate from here because the economy remains relatively strong, driven by this massive capex spend on AI and stuff, and the Fed says, okay, we need to raise interest rates now or we can't cut interest rates the way that they want us to because we have an affordability problem in this country, I think that's when this entire overinvestment AI bubble will burst.